Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and talk about an arithmetic series. The difference between a sequence and a series is a sequence is just a list of numbers, such as I have a sub n is equal to just 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, and 13. We can change this into a series when I start to ask you to add them. When you do 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 9 plus 11 plus 13. And in the last video, I introduced you to sigma notation. From here, we can just add this up pretty straightforward. But I will ask you to end up writing this in sigma notation. And this is where it gets a little, you have to kind of remember where everything goes. So the first thing I would do is I would write my sigma. I want to just pick a letter, in this case K, and I will always start at 1 because it makes my life easier. On my top is actually the number of terms that I actually am adding. Not the total, but just the number. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So here I'd put 6. Next, I need my nth term equation. The way I do that is I'm going to use the formula a sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 d. So from there, we can either use the sequence or the series, because it's the same numbers in this case, and just figure out what my a sub 1 is and my d. My a sub 1 is 3 because it is the first term of the sequence or the first term of my series. My d, we can calculate that as 5 minus 3, which is 2, or 9 minus 7, which is 2, so I have a common difference of 2. So I plug it into my equations. I'm going to do 3, well, my a sub n equals 3 plus n minus 1 times 2. I'm going to go ahead and distribute my 2. I get 3 plus 2n minus 2. Combine like terms, I get 2n plus 1. This is going to go right here. So to finish out writing this in sigma, it would be 2. Change your letter from n. It's no longer n. It's got to be the same here. K plus 1. Pretty straightforward process. A series, really the big differences between the sequence and the series is your sequence is going to have a comma. It's a list. Just like when you're writing in English, if you're saying like your colors, red, blue, green, orange, yellow, you're going to separate those by a comma because it's a list. Same with math. We have a list, you're going to separate it by a comma. But when I say series, that means that you're going to be adding some sequence of numbers. So if I give you the sequence and I say, write the series, this right here would be the sequence. This right here would be the series. So if I gave you the sequence and I say, hey, write this as a series, I would just want 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 9 plus 11 plus 13. I don't need the total to add them up. I'm just checking to see that you know the difference between a sequence and a series.